Welcome to the Celtic Llama. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to knit this cross diamond stitch pattern. For this pattern, you're going to need to know how to knit, how to purl, how to cross to right, and how to cross to left and cast on. If you need help with any of those techniques, you can check down in the description below for my videos on how to do those techniques. So to get started, you are going to want to cast on multiples of 6 plus 4. Now don't be intimidated by the fact that we're going to do any of these crossovers because they're actually quite simple. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So we're going to start off each row with a knit and we're going to end each row with a knit. So we're going to knit one and then we're going to cross to right. And to cross to right, you are going to you're going to skip the first loop and you're going to pick up the second loop in the front, twist it behind, and knit. Then you are going to knit the stitch that you skipped just regularly, and you're going to drop both those loops off of your left hand needle, and there you go, you cross to right. Then we are going to knit 4. So the repeat for this row is going to be doing a cross to right and knitting 4 until you reach your last 3 stitches. So again, let's take a look at this cross to right. You're going to go in the front of your second loop, if I can get it. Maybe. Then you're going to twist your needle back behind and you're going to knit that stitch. Then you're going to knit the stitch you skipped just regularly and drop those 2 loops. And then you're going to knit 4. So the first few rows of this video are going to be at my regular knitting speed. Just so you know, the rest of the video is going to be sped up just a little bit, so if you need to pause it at any time, feel free to do that. So to finish off this row, we are going to do a cross to right. Again, it's going to be the technique that I've been showing you. And then we are going to finish the row with a knit. So for row 2, we are going to start off by knitting the first stitch and purling all the other stitches until the end of the row and finishing off with a knit. Here we are on row 3. We are going to start off by knitting 2. Then the repeat for this row is going to be across to left, knit 2, and then across to right. And that'll be repeated until your last 2 stitches. So how to do across to left is you're going to skip that first stitch again, and then you're going to go in the back of the second loop and you're going to knit that. Then you're going to come back into your front loop that you missed, and you're just going to knit that like normal. And that's how you do across to left. Then we're just going to knit 2. And then we're going to do a cross to right. So again, the cross to right is in front. So we're going to grab the second stitch. We're going to twist our needle around and we're going to knit it. Then we're going to knit the stitch that we skipped. Now remember, if you need help with any of these stitches, you can check down in the description below for my video tutorial on how to do these cross to left and cross to right. So let's go ahead and do the repeat again. The cross to left, you're going to come in the back of the second loop and knit it. Then you are going to go into that stitch that you skipped and knit that regularly. Followed by knitting 2. And then we're going to do a cross to right, which again is in the front, if I can get it. We're going to twist that behind, knit that, and then we're going to knit the stitch that we skipped. We're going to drop those 2 stitches, and then once we come to our last 2 stitches of the row, we are just going to knit those 2 stitches. So for row 4, we are going to start off by knitting 1 and then purling all of the stitches until the end of the row, and we are going to knit the last stitch. So row 5, we are going to start off by knitting 3, and then we are going to do a repeat of across to left, then across to right, and then knit 2. And you'll repeat this technique all the way until the end of your row when you have your last stitch. So here we are doing our cross to right, and then knitting 2, cross to left, remember it's in the back loop, across to right, and then knitting 2, and here we are at the last stitch, which is a knit. Row 6 is going to be knitting 1, purling all of the stitches till the end of the row, and then knitting the last stitch. Here we are on row 7. We're going to start off by knitting 3. And the repeat for this row is going to be a knit 1, cross to right, and then knit 3. And you'll repeat this repeat until you get to your last stitch, which will be just 1 knit. All right, row 8 is just going to be starting off with a knit 1. You're going to purl all the stitches until your last stitch, which will be a knit. So here we are on row 9. We are going to start off by knitting 3. And then we're going to do a repeat pattern of across to right, then across to left, and then a knit 2. And you'll repeat this until your last stitch. So again, it's across to right, followed by across to left, and knitting 2. Once you get to your last stitch, it is just going to be a knit. So here we are on row 10. You're just going to knit the first stitch, purl all the remaining stitches until your last stitch, and that last stitch will be a knit. Row 11, you're going to start off by knitting 2. And then you're going to do the repeat of across to right, followed by knitting 2, and then across to left. And you will repeat this until your last 2 stitches. So again, the repeat is going to be across to right, knit 2, and then across to left. Once you get to your last 2 stitches, it is just going to be a knit 2. So row 12 is going to be starting off by knitting 1 and purling all of the stitches until you get to the last stitch, which will be a knit. So for this pattern, the repeat is rows 1 through 12. And once you start getting the flow of this project, it actually starts moving along very easily. And I have to admit, I was a little intimidated when starting this project because it's easy to mess up, so definitely do pay attention to your work. And there you go. That is how you do the cross diamonds stitch pattern. I really do love how this project turned out. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you did, give it a like, and I really do hope that you have a happy knitting day.